Good morning. Welcome back to the third session of anti-cancer drugs. In the last class, we have discussed about the alkylating agents. We've been talking about the cytotoxic agents which are used in the cancer chemotherapy. So the first group was alkylating agents, and you've seen the examples and its mechanism, resistance, etc. And some of the notable drugs include ifosfamide. So you've seen the adverse effects, clinical uses, etc. Now we're moving on to the next topic, which is a second group of cytotoxic agents, antimetabolites. So these group of drugs are basically uh, structural analogs of our purines and pyrimidines, and this can incorporate into the dividing cells, especially the fast, rapidly dividing cells, uh, like cancer cells, and also, of course, this can be incorporated to the rapidly dividing normal cells like our bone marrow tissues, the myeloid tissues, lymphoid tissues, hair follicles, the epithelial lining of the GI, etc. So definitely, due to the non-specificity of these group of drugs, it can have untoward effects. That's why it is grouped under the cytotoxic group or cytotoxic agents. Now let's see. Uh, the antimetabolites are structurally similar to endogenous compounds and are antagonists of folic acid. So unlike the uh, bacteria and other microbes, we need folic acid to be supplied through our food. So this folic acid has to be converted into the tetrahydrofolic acid, the active form. So the enzymes involved in this conversion can be inhibited by certain drugs, and here I given the examples: methotrexate, then pemetrexed. Then it can be an antagonist, so the structural analogs of purines. So what happen? These compounds can compete with the actual purines and incorporate into the growing growing nucleotides. And examples are here: mercaptopurine, thioguanine, or it can be the antagonist or structurally similar compounds of pyrimidines. Here we have examples: fluorouracil, citrabine, gemcitabine. Now we have seen that the alkylating agents are cell cell cycle non-specific, whereas antimetabolites are cell cycle specific, and this will act at the S phase of the cell cycle. Okay, synthetic phase, G0, G1, G2, M and S phases. These also have immunosuppressant actions. So in fact, most of these antimetabolites and the other cytotoxic drugs have got immunosuppressant action, and the reason, because the tissues involved in the immunity are the cells, B cells, T cells. The maturation and development of all these cells can be interfered or arrested by the use of these drugs. Hence, the person will have a compromised immunity. Now let's see which are the members of this group. So folic acid analogs, we have methotrexate, very common drugs. Then this drug is being used in various malignancies, especially the choriocarcinoma, then ALL, acute lymphocytic leukemia, breast and head and neck cancers, even lung cancers, bladder cancer, osteogenic sarcoma, etc. Now, of course, when I'm talking about methotrexate, that doesn't mean that methotrexate is a sole drug which is used for all these cancers. So, of course, it is a regime. Along with the other members, it is used for the treatment of these conditions. Apart from this, methotrexate is not just an anti-cancer drug. It has some other properties too, effect too. For example, it is used as disease-modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs. Disease-modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs. So this can arrest the progression of the rheumatoid arthritis. Hence, it is used in rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so this is about the indications of methotrexate. And then next is pyrimidine analogs. So uracil, thymidine, uracil, cytosine, all are the pyrimidine, and analog structurally resembled compounds. We have 5-fluorouracil, capecitabine, then fluoxetine. These are used in combination with the other drugs in conditions like breast cancer, colon cancer, esophageal, stomach, pancreas, head and neck, then pre-malignant, skin lesion, etc. Okay. Then cytidine analogs, we have cytarabine or citarabine, then arabinocyte, acute myeloid leukemia, then acute lymphocytic leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma are the uses. Then gemcitabine used in pancreatic, ovarian and lung cancers. Then 5-azacitidine and then decitabine, 2-deoxy-5-azacitidine, myelodysplasia. Next is purine analogs. We have 6-thiopurine analogs, mercaptopurine, 6-thioguanine, used in ALL, AML, small cell and related non-Hodgkin's lymphomas. Then pendostatin, is mainly used in hair cell leukemia, CLL, small cell lung cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, etc. Fludarabine, CLL. Then cladribine, hairy cell leukemia, CLL, low-grade lymphomas. These are the indications of purine analogs. Then clofirabine, AML. The list is still continue. You please try to remember as much as possible. Being an undergraduate, you have to remember few examples for each group. This is not required. And pyrimidines, cytosine, uracil and thymidine, as I already told you. So this can have a structurally resembled molecule like what we 5-fluorouracil, cytarabine, etc. So this is how you can see this. I told you folate, it is active form, that is tetrahydrofolic acid formation is inhibited by methotrexate, and this can be entered into various pathway where the DNA and RNA synthesis takes place. These are the basic biochemical pathways where you just remember that this is being used in the pathways where the nucleic acids synthesis takes place, especially during DNA replication. Here you can see the pathways where this how this the monophosphate, urine monophosphate and thymidine triphosphate and all are formed, and how these molecules 5-fluorouracil, cytarabine or hydroxyureas are inhibiting this pathway. Here it is clearly mentioned. Next is methotrexate. Methotrexate is an inhibitor of dihydrofolate reductase, and I told you this action leads to decrease in the synthesis of thymidylate purine nucleotides and amino acids, and thus interferes with the nucleic acid and protein metabolism. So basically you can say that the metabolism, methotrexate use can inhibit the formation of this group. So this may lead to decrease in the synthesis of thymidate, purine nucleotides and amino acids. This is what I told you. Formation of polyglutamate derivatives as a result of the inhibition of this pathway by methotrexate appears to be the important for cytotoxic action. So the polyglutamate can have direct cytotoxic effect. What happens when you use methotrexate? The tumor cells gain resistance, and the mechanism includes decreased drug accumulation. It could be due to the active pumping of drug molecule out of the cell, from the cell, and it can also lead to, it is also developed due to the changes in the drug sensitivity of activity of the dihydrofolate reductase, and because this is a target enzyme, so the enzyme may undergo some structural changes so that the methotrexate cannot bind. A decreased formation of polyglutamates is another, because I told you the mechanism is due to the formation of polyglutamates, and this the cells will generate less quantity of polyglutamates, which is supposed to be a cytotoxic in nature. This is given orally and intravenously. As far as the pharmacokinetics is concerned, it is given orally and intravenously. Methotrexate affords good tissue distribution except to the CNS, so you cannot use in tumors of brain. It's not metabolized, and it is clear. Its clearance is dependent on renal function. Okay, so it is directly excreted through urine. Hydration is needed to prevent crystallization on renal tubules. So you have seen in case of cyclophosphamide where hydration therapy is wonderful, which can prevent the development of hemorrhagic cystitis. And here this is a problem, that if the hydration is not properly or adequately given, it can accumulate, crystallize in the renal tubules. What are the clinical uses of methotrexate? It is used in choriocarcinoma. I have already told you acute leukemias, non-Hodgkin's and primary CNS lymphomas, and a number of solid tumors including breast cancer, hair and neck cancers, and bladder cancers. But the permeability to CNS is very poor. Hence, better choices are there. And I told you it is used in rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, and ectopic pregnancy. Where in ectopic pregnancy, for the termination of pregnancy is used. So, psoriasis as an immunosuppressant, even arthritis, it is used as disease-modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs. So in the previous slide, I had told you the CNS accessibility is poor. Though in some cases, in combination with other drugs, it is used in certain in CNS cancers. That was a mistake I have told you. What are the toxicities? The toxicity is actually applicable to, so most of the adverse effects are developed as a result of extension of its pharmacological effects. So we know that it can cause bone marrow suppression and toxic effects on skin and GI mucosa, especially mucositis. And it does not only act on the cancer cells, it can also act on the normal cells, and this can lead to various toxicities. And there is a toxicity ameliorating agent. It is called leucovorin rescue or factor, or it is actually folinic acid. It's not folic acid, it is folinic acid. And why do you use folinic acid? Because if you use folic acid, the folic acid need to be converted into active form. But when you use methotrexate, this will not be possible, because methotrexate is already, the dihydrofolate reductase enzyme is already inhibited by methotrexate. So even if you give folic acid, that cannot be converted into its active form. Whereas folinic acid is active, that can be rarely used for the synthesis of the purines and pyrimidines. Long-term use of methotrexate has led to hepatotoxicity and to pulmonary fibrosis. So this is also important to be noted. Now other drugs includes mercaptopurine and thioguanine. So these are again it's widely used as immunosuppressants. Okay, these are purine antimetabolites. Both drugs are activated by hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase HCPR2A to toxic nucleotide that inhibits several enzymes involved in the purine metabolism. So what happened, as soon as it's entering the body, it get converted or activated into the hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase, which is a toxic substance. So that can inhibit various enzymes and proteins involved in the purine metabolism. So mechanism of resistance includes mainly decreased activity of HGPRTase. So this is a target. So the activity of this enzyme can be gradually decreased as a result of the development of resistance, and it can it can increase the production of alkaline phosphatase that inactivate the toxic nucleotides. As far as the pharmacokinetics is concerned, mercaptopurine and thioguanine have low oral bioavailability due to first-pass metabolism by hepatic enzyme. The metabolism of 6-mercaptopurine by xanthine oxidase is inhibited by the xanthine oxidase inhibitors, allopurinol and febuxostat. And allopurinol is used in the treatment of gout. Well. Mercaptopurine and thioguanine are used. What are the uses? So these are used mainly in the acute leukemias and chronic myelocytic leukemia. Toxicity is it's due to the extension of its pharmacological effects into the normal cells, and which may lead to bone marrow suppression, which is dose limiting. But hepatic dysfunction, cholestasis, jaundice, necrosis are also occur due to the long-term use of mercaptopurine and thioguanine. Another drug, fluorouracil and capecitabine. These drugs, of course, it is converted into 5-fluoro-2-deoxyurine 5-monophosphate 5-FD-DUMP, which can inhibit the thymidylate synthase, and this is an important enzyme involved in the thymine triphosphate formation, and it causes thymineless death of cells. Resistance mechanism includes decreased activation of 5-fluorouracil. We have seen that 5-fluorouracil has to be converted into active form, so that conversion can be gradually reduced, and also increase the thymidylate synthase activity and reduce drug sensitivity of this enzyme. So these are the major mechanism of resistance. Next is capecitabine. This is also usually these drugs, when given intravenously, fluorouracil is widely distributed, including to the CSF. So it's good. It has good volume of distribution too, and it is generally metabolized and elimination after the metabolism. Uses includes bladder cancer, breast, colon, anal, head and neck, liver, and ovarian cancers. These are the common uses. It is topically used for the keratosis and superficial basal cell carcinoma. Of course, toxicity is mainly due to the same like all other cytotoxic drugs. GI distress, myelosuppression, and alopecia are common. And of course, its associated complications like opportunistic infection, fall, etc. are very common with this. Cytarabine. Mechanism is again, this is a analog, and it is a pyrimidine antimetabolite. It is activated by kinases to arabine CTP, an inhibitor of DNA polymerase, because DNA polymerase is an important enzyme involved in the DNA replication. Cytarabine is the most specific for S phase of the cell cycle. So please remember, this is the most specific to S phase of the cell cycle. When you come to the drug resistance, cytarabine can occur as a resistance to cytarabine can occur as a result of its decreased uptake or its decreased conversion to arabine CTP. And gemcitabine same mechanism is almost the same as what I have told you. Pharmacokinetics is also like elimination is mainly by metabolism. Gemcitabine was initially approved for pancreatic cancer and now is used widely in the treatment of non-small cell lung cancer, bladder cancer, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Of course, toxicity is all expected due to the extension of its pharmacological effects. Pulmonary toxicity has been observed in some cases. So these are the additional toxicity other than the general toxicity is associated with the antimetabolites use. So that's all about the antimetabolites.